they got to put like letters and stuff in there?
Yeah, I do all kinds of.
Okay. That wasn't really my jam. When they started putting letters and then they put like symbols and stuff, then stuff started getting complicated for me. That's why I catch, right? That's why I catch. All I can do is all I have to do is count to five. All I got is five fingers. No, math was never my thing. Science was my thing. Science and English. That was my thing. What else? Who else? Let me see. Dawson with the flow, bro. Dawson, what did you get up to today?
I don't like that. Oh, gotta unmute yourself.
Today I did some schoolwork, and
All right.
not too long ago we went fishing for a little bit.
Oh, nice. You catch anything?
Yeah, we caught some fish.
Oh, nice. That's better than me. I think I've been
Yeah.
fishing about 6 times in my life. I don't think I caught one thing.
Oh, cool.
That's why I gave up fishing. I couldn't catch any fish. But I hear that's not what fishing's really about. Is that true, Dawson? About the experience, is that
Catching
right?
fish?
Yeah, going fishing.
Yeah, I guess. That's fun.
All right. Well, maybe when I come back in October, you're gonna have to take me fishing, teach me the ways.
Yeah, that would be cool.
All right. Sounds like a plan. I'm gonna have to grow my hair out though. I'm gonna bring a wig or something so that we can match.
All right.
I don't think I can grow my hair out long enough.
Yeah, you haven't got that much time.
Yeah, I don't think I can do it.
Dawson, how long did that take you to grow that?
Like, I don't know, my whole life basically.
How old are you?
13.
13 years.
Yeah.
All right. I can start somewhere.
Yeah.
At least I know what I look forward to. I'll have a cane and a wheelchair by the time my hair gets that long.
Yeah.
We got Tyreek Hill down there. What's he doing?
Yeah, that's my guy, Levi, man. Levi, I know you're there. He's always hiding.
Yeah.
Levi and Mojo. I don't know who Mojo is.
Oh.
All right, so we're gonna get started here in a little bit. So excited to have you guys on here, man. Our first baseball clinic online. We got with us the man himself, Brandon Bantz. So Brandon came and coached our first vertical sports baseball camp in October last year. Hands up if you were at our camp in October last year.
Nice.
All right, cool. We got a bunch of you guys. So it was a lot of fun. We had camp last year, and Brandon's out in LA at the moment, but he came out to Maui and ran our camp for us, and it was a lot of fun. So Brandon is one of the directors of the LA Dodgers Training Academy, and we're really fortunate to have him with us and just taking out his time today to be with you guys and put you through some skill stuff. And we're going to have a talk in a minute on mentality and how that plays into sport and what that looks like, especially for us now we're at home, and how that impacts not just our life, but us as athletes. And so super excited. Brandon, why don't you introduce yourself, man? Tell us your background, your baseball background, and
Yeah. So I was born in Texas, actually. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and my wife and I are actually both there. She was actually out at the camp. Those of you guys probably remember the little loud blonde-haired, silver-haired one out there throwing balls to you guys in the outfield. That was her. Yeah. So we're both from Dallas. Moved out here a couple years ago. To like Josh said, to kind of be the director of the Dodgers training academies out here in LA. So was two sport guy in high school, was a football, baseball guy, as you guys can imagine. Obviously in Texas, if you don't play football, then they have to check your pulse. They don't, so they don't know if you're actually breathing if you don't play football there. So I was a football, baseball guy in high school, and had the chance to play two sports in college, but ended up choosing baseball instead. And so played at the Division I school called Dallas Baptist University, and then was drafted out of there and played for right around 8.5 years, I think somewhere around there, give or take. Professionally, had a chance to play in the big leagues for a really, really brief minute, but spent most of my time AA, AAA, most of the time in AAA actually, and then retired in 2016. That was my last year, and then started training people like you guys, getting into the teaching side and coaching side, and just ever since. So that's kind of what led me to LA, and is being able to teach guys and put together programs and back from knowledge that I've learned in my career, and hopefully allow you guys to get some of that knowledge and get you guys on your path. So whatever that path is, whether it's baseball, whether it's whatever, hopefully we can put together some great things and impact lives for longer than just sport. So that's really why we're here, both me and Josh. So be able to hang out with guys like you and learn from guys like you, and hopefully you guys can learn a little bit of stuff from us too. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Brian, thanks for joining us, man. As you guys can tell, Brian, he doesn't have the sunshine where he's at right now. It is 8 o'clock in LA. So we're going to keep it nice and short for you guys. But before we get started, we're going to pray, and then Brian's going to put us through some skill stuff. All right, let's pray. God, thank you so much just for this time that we have together now. And I thank you, God, that we can have this community right now, even though we're all at home and during quarantine. God, I just thank you for all these people on the call right now. I ask that you would just help us to enjoy our time together today. Help us to have fun. And I thank you, God, that you've given us health and the ability to play the game of baseball. And I pray, God, that you would help us to grow, help us to learn new things today. And I pray that we would be encouraged and we would just be equipped to step into all that you have for our lives. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. So let me ask you guys a question real quick while I ask Josh. Have you cleared where I can share screens on here?
You should be able to. Let me know if you can.
Okay, perfect. Well, yeah, I know how, but sometimes if the host has to make sure that he can allow multiple people to share other than himself. So I just wanted to make sure that was good. But while we're, before we get into that, how many of you guys have been coming to the Vertical Sports Maui stuff, the classes so far with Josh and the basketball side? Have any of you guys been doing that? Sweet, that's awesome. What about what's that?
I won one of the awards.
Good job, dude. That's awesome. Sweet. But so in terms of the baseball side, like, have you guys been able to get out and do things? Have you guys been able to practice or, throw, play catch, hit balls, anything like that?
Yeah, I've been.
Some people have.
I've been going to the park with my dad and hitting baseballs.
Okay, nice. So some people have, some people haven't. Nothing wrong with that. So what we're gonna do today, right? In terms of, we're gonna kind of do two parts here. Okay, so we're gonna do a kind of a share session. So I'm gonna actually, share my screen. We're gonna kind of do like a little classroom session in a way where we're kind of breaking down and understanding a couple of movements and understanding a couple of positions, okay, and understanding why they're important, how do I get to them, a couple key, feelings or factors that kind of get us to those positions, that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to have you guys get up and we're going to try to get active with it. Okay. And so we're going to have you guys get up. You don't even have to have a bat. You can just use your bare hand, hold it like you have a bat, like with your hands. You can do things like that. And then I'm going to watch you guys try to get to these positions. And then I'm going to try to give you little pointers, little tips here and there to help correct you. Okay. So that's going to be kind of the trajectory we're going to go over here for the next little bit as we go into this. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Now, so how many of you guys know who this is right here?
Avi Bias.
Avi Baez. Very nice. Good job. Now, I'm going to try to see if I can do this so I can see most of you guys. Yeah, that should be good there. Okay. So what we're going to talk about first is what's called the launch position. Okay. So the launch position is that point in which my body or my front heel actually hits the ground. Okay. So this is the first position. Anytime I'm looking and I'm evaluating a hitter, doesn't matter if it's one of my major league clients, if it's one of my minor league clients at college, a high school, a youngster, doesn't matter. The first position I'm going to look at is what happens once their front heel hits the ground. So there's a difference between when my front foot hits the ground or my toe versus my heel. Okay. Understand that in baseball, right, it's very similar to basketball, that I want to make sure that I have to have my feet all the way into the ground. Okay. The more points of contact I can have in the ground, the more stable I'm going to be, the more balanced I'm going to be, the stronger I'm going to be, and then thus the more power in rotation and all those kinds of things that you do in a baseball swing or a baseball pitch when you're throwing, all that's rotational. All of that stems from the ground and how much force you can produce from the ground. Okay, so this position is first and foremost. All right, so this is the main position we're going to talk about today, but I'm going to take a step back, and where there's two steps that kind of get us to this position that I want us to talk about first. Okay, so this starts just a little bit. As you can see, his front foot's already in the air, so his body's already started. Can you guys tell me what that's when he starts to start his move, like in his swing? His what?
He's loading.
His load. Good. So his load is, in other words, when his body's going which direction?
Huh?
So the load is when his body's going which direction?
He's going forward. He's going backwards and then he goes forward.
Bingo. So the load is when my body goes this way. All right. So the load is when my body goes backwards. Now, get this to play now. There we go. So the load is when my body goes back. Now, here's a few things I want us to focus on here in the load. All right. The load is really important. But as you can see, we're starting to build energy, right? So he's starting to build energy. Where do you think he's starting to build that energy at? Into which part of his body?
His back legs.
Okay, back leg. Which specific part of the back leg, though?
His
Where?
Can you hear me?
Anybody? Anybody take a guess?
The thigh.
Okay, it's actually right here.
Yeah, right there. Sorry. Yeah, I was.
Okay, so his back hip. When you load in baseball, when you load to hit, the biggest thing you can do is we want to load my weight into this portion of my body. Okay? Now, the reason we want to do that is because that is going to allow us to control my weight as I go into my stride, which is which direction? Somebody tell me which way my stride goes.
Forward.
Forward, good. And here's how we know it goes forward. All right, so there's this thing where you have, you've heard coaches tell you to stay back, right? Everybody can raise their hand. Some coaches told them that they need to stay back at some point, I'm assuming, right? Now, don't get stay back confused, okay? Stay back does not mean when I stride that my body stays on my back leg. That is not what stay back means, okay? When I stride, you're going to watch him. You're going to watch him stride. Oops, sorry about that. You're going to watch him, and what is his body doing? His whole body. What is it doing?
It's striding forward.
It's moving forward. Towards who?
Towards the pitcher.
Bingo. Right? So when I stride, my entire body has to move forward. It's a must. And why do you guys think it's a must that my body has to go forward when I stride?
So you can release the power that you were loading.
True. But it's to help me be what?
Balanced.
Okay, true. I'm looking for a specific word. Starts with an A. What do you guys think? You can play multiple sports. You're a what?
Athletic person.
Bingo. Right? So the reason my body has to go forward when I stride is because I have to stay athletic. All right? Now think about this. If all of a sudden he kept all of his weight back here, and strided forward, would he land athletic at that point? No. So I'm going to play a little, let me see. I'm going to pick somebody here. Let me see. Is this Cesario? Is that how you say your name? Sorry, you're the first person I saw. Is that how you say your name, dude, in the red hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cesario. Okay, Cesario, here's what I want to ask you a question, okay? If you were to play basketball, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to test you now because Josh is on the call, so don't mess this up. Now, if you were to, I want you to get up out of your chair, okay? Kind of move that chair out of the way a little bit. There you go. Now, I want to see what position would you get into if you were going to play defense in basketball. All right, good. Now, where's your weight at?
My weight?
Yeah, where's your weight? Is it to the right, to the left, or in the middle?
It feels more to the right.
When you play basketball, when you guard someone on defense, you're gonna put more weight on the right side?
Oh no, I just I just feel it more like more like on the sides of my legs.
So your weight's in the middle, is what you're telling me. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Why does your weight have to be in the middle if you're gonna play basketball and play defense?
So you can be balanced, yeah.
Okay. What else?
And you can also so you don't, like, if your leg was like right here, you'd be more bending this way. So if the guy was going this way, it would be taking longer for you to transfer.
Good. Good. Okay. So that you can be more athletic and you can react, right?
Yeah.
You don't know which way I'm gonna go. If you're gonna guard me, I'm gonna give you that quick cross, maybe a little spin, maybe a little step back. You don't even know. I'm gonna throw the book at you. I got about 3 moves. That's all I got. So if you exhaust all 3 of my moves, I'm done. Then I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll have to bully you or something, right? But the reason that you have to stay in the center is you just don't know which way I'm gonna go. So you need to be athletic enough to be able to react, right?
On your toes, not flat-footed.
And like you said before, if I have so now get and play defense. So get to your defensive position. Good. Now I want you to lean to your right leg. Right there. Now, you told me that it would take you longer to go to, if I went to your left, it would take you longer to react and go that direction, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, why is that any different? Why is that any different than when I hit?
Because because if you keep it right here, it would also take you longer to get to the ball.
Okay, you're right, but why?
Because if it's right here, you'd be like, you'd keep it right here, and then you'd be like that. You'd be like just like staying like still, like right there.
Okay, yeah. So the reason that we don't want to stay back, one is because I'm not athletic and I'm not able to move. But two, my weight's not in the center, and I can't rotate from with all my weight on my back leg. All right. So as we're gonna see here, I'm gonna show you as he gets to this position, he gets here, that weight is pretty much 50-50. If I was to draw a line through the top of his head, he would go right down to the middle of his body. All right. So, oops. So this is not going to be a great line, but it'll be somewhat close. Okay, so we get the gist there, right? He's split in half. He's 50-50, okay? The reason that we have to make sure we're 50-50 is because this is what's going to allow when you guys want to hit, you guys want to rotate, hit for power, and do all these things, right? The way that my weight can release when I rotate is the fact that I have enough weight on my front leg. If I have too much weight back here, just like Cesario said, it's going to take me a long time to rotate, okay? So this position is really, really important for us, okay, to get to here. So my load is when I go back, my stride is when I go forward to get to this athletic position, all right? So number one spot that we talked about is when my heel lands, I need my weight where?
You need
Who
your
said
weight
it?
to be transitioning.
Well, when my heel hits the ground, where should my weight be?
Transitioning towards the middle and to the left of your
It
leg.
shouldn't be transitioning. It should already be there, right? When I land, my weight is in the middle, all right? Now, here's an easy way to remember this position. A very easy way, okay? I want all of you guys to stand up for me really quick. Just kind of get to a spot, just stand up. Now, in this position, I want you to get to your defensive position like you're going to play defense. So just like you're going to guard somebody, get to that spot. Okay, good. Get to that spot. Good. Now, from there, I want you to widen your feet out just a little bit. Widen them out. Good. Now, from that position, don't move your body. Don't move your body. And now, all of a sudden, all I want you to do is pick up your hands like you're holding a bat, but don't move your body. So keep that same bend, keep that same position, that same width, right? So really, okay, good, relax. Now, the launch position is no different than you playing defense in basketball. It's no different. It's the same position, and it's called an athletic position for a reason, right? So think about when I stride, I'm trying to stride to my defensive position in basketball. All right? That's your goal. The more athletic you can be when you land, the better chance you have to be able to hit. All right? Does that make sense?
Yes, coach.
All right, perfect. All right, now, if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you another screen. You guys can take a seat for a second, and then we're going to get back up. Let's see. Now, can you guys see my screen here?
Yeah.
Okay, there's 18 different hitters up there. We got old school guys like Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle's on here. Okay, and we got new school guys like Mike Trout. We got Buster Posey on here. Then we got some guys that are a little older that you guys may know, may not know. Manny Ramirez, Ryan Zimmerman, if you guys watched the World Series last year for the Nationals. Okay, what do you notice about all these guys?
They're all in their
Same position.
Nice. Wow, that was like, what do you guys, twins, friends? What do you got there? That was nice. They're all in the same spot, right? So just remember, this is the first focal point. Like I said, anytime you're going to evaluate yourself as a hitter, this is the first position you got to get to. Can you get to this spot? Now, notice how I didn't say anything about your hands, where they start, how you load, if your stance is wide, if it's narrow, if you leg kick, if you toe tap, if you don't stride, if you know, I didn't say anything about that. You can do that any way that you like, that's comfortable for you. But however you start, however you load, however you stride, you have to get to this position. This is the first position that you really have to focus on. Doesn't matter how you start, you have to get here. All right?
I'm making on.
So
Okay, I'll turn it off.
here's how we're going to practice this. So I'm going to stop this screen share here. Here's how we're going to practice this. So we're going to do kind of three different checks. Okay, so I'm going to kind of adjust my camera here a little bit. So we're going to do 3 different checks. Okay, so the first one, you're just going to kind of stand narrow. And this is going to be to help you feel your load. Remember, where do I need to load in my body? When my body goes backwards, where am I trying to load into?
your hip.
Your hip, right? So my back hip. This is where I want to feel all my pressure, all my energy right here. Okay? So as I get here, all we're going to do is just take a little hop. And as I take a little hop, I kind of want to push my butt backwards behind me. All right? So if you watch from the side, if I go here, you're going to see me kind of push out. So my chest kind of comes over, my hip kind of goes backwards. All right? And if you feel that spot, you're going to feel that little bit of bend in your back leg, and you're going to feel yourself load into kind of your back glute here and into your hip. All right? And we're just going to kind of hold it for a second. So it'll be here, boom, and then just put it back down. Okay? All I want you to do is feel that spot. Can you maintain that spot? All right? If you're here and then you fall down, that means you're not loaded well enough. If you're here and then you fall backwards, that means you're not loading into your hip. Your weight's going too far. All right? So all of you guys kind of stand up for me. This is where we're going to start getting a little active. Okay. So all I'm going to say is I'm going to say go. All right? Or I'll say load. Sorry. I'm going to say load. When I say load, you're just going to give me a little hop and hold. Okay? Here we go. Ready? Load. Good. Okay, do it again. Now, who is this here? I appreciate the Dodger sweatshirt, Adam. I love it. You're the man. Now, remember, Adam, so whenever you loaded that time, you loaded this way, and notice how my upper body tilted backwards like this. Okay? I don't want my upper body to tilt at all. It's got to stay straight up and down. So when I go back and I load, I'm still straight. Okay? I'm not tilted this way. All right? Here we go. Let's do it again.
My earphone fell off, and then I had to get it.
Oh, okay. I got you. Sorry. All right, here we go again. Here we go. Ready? Load. Good. Okay, let's do it again. Ready? Load. Good. Okay. Who's this right here? Nixon. Nixon,
Yeah.
try to push your hips further back to, is that a cat? What is that, a closet?
Yeah.
Yeah, so push your hips back to your closet as you go backwards. Okay, you're a little straight up and down for me. That's better. All right, here we go. Ready? Load. Good. Okay, same thing, Adam. You're still leaning back for me. All right, do it again. Here we go. Ready? Load. Good. Now, here's going to be the second piece to this part, okay? When you load, I want this back leg or your front leg to stay tight to you, right? I don't want to see this part with my leg where my leg is opened up this direction or I'm putting my foot out in front of me, right? I'm losing my balance. I want to stay nice and tight, okay? Nice and tight together because now I can control, right? The minute that this gets out in front of me, now I'm losing that balance. I'm losing that build, okay? So think about my body building right here into my stomach and my back hip. Everything's staying right here in the center. All right, here we go. Ready? Load. Better. Good. Good. Okay. One more. Then we're going to get to the stride. All right, ready? Load. Good. Okay. Now we're going to put piece 2 into this. Now we're going to load. I'll say load, stride. Okay? So there'll be 2 pieces there. Right? Now, remember, my stride is always going towards who?
The pitcher.
Bingo. Good. Now, never mind. We're going to get to that in a second. Here we go. So it'll be a load and then a stride, okay? Ready? Load, stride. Good. Now look at my position, right? Look at my position. Okay? My hands aren't forward. I haven't started to swing. I haven't done any of that. Okay? Be sure everything stays back. And let me rephrase that. Be sure that I stay in that athletic position here, right? Athletic position. I don't want to push forward here. All right, here we go. Ready? Load, stride. Good. Okay. Now, part 2, really quick. I'm actually going to reshare my screen. I want to show you one thing, and then we're going to hop right back into it. All right. So when he strides, I want you guys to watch his hands. Okay. So think about your hands and your hip, your hands and your front side, really, not just your foot, but your entire front side. So my shoulder, my hip, my knee, my foot. I want you to think about there being like a rubber band right here. Okay? So as this goes forward, these are going backwards. All right? So really think about the knob of your bat. The knob of your bat is going to try to point down to the catcher, all right? As your body is going forward. Okay, so you'll see what I'm talking about right here. So as he goes forward, now the body's going forward, and look at that knob starting to push right back to the catcher. So you see how the hands are going the opposite direction of the front side. So my front side is going forward and my hands are going away from it. All right? So imagine, let's go here. So this isn't going to stretch, but I want you to imagine like you got a rubber band right here, and you're going to try to stretch that rubber band as tight as you can. All right? Obviously, this line isn't going to go with him, but you can see what I'm talking about, how he separates from that line. So you see how he's stretching that line? If that line was staying, it would be stretching farther and farther and farther away. So by the time he lands, we'll see how long this line is. See how much longer that line is, right?
Yeah.
That's what's called separation. That's going to help you get to an athletic, powerful position, okay? So, now, what I want us to think about here is when we get back to this stride, all right? When we get back to our stride, I want us to try to stretch the rubber band, all right? So it'll look like this. We're gonna load, stride, and stretch, okay? Load, stride, stretch, all right? I'm gonna stretch that rubber band as best I can. And when I land, I want that rubber band to be super tight. I don't want to bring my hands forward and let that rubber band get loose. I want to keep it back tight, pointed down to the catcher. Okay? There we go. Everybody up. Let's rock and roll. All right, here we go. Ready? Load, stride, and stretch. Good, good, that's better. Remember, we're not swinging, we're just stretching. Feel the stretch, feel the pull, okay? Here we go, ready? Load, stride, stretch. Don't swing, just stride and stretch. Okay, again. So when I say don't swing, I shouldn't see any of this, right? I shouldn't see my body trigger to swing to the pitch at all. It should just be land, boom. Remember that knob pointed back down behind me. Don't let my hands come with me this way. See where my knob's pointed forward, right? I don't want my knob pointed forward. I want my knob pointed behind me. Okay, almost like you're gonna keep this bat's gonna hit you right in the back of the head back here. Okay, here we go. Ready? Load. Stride, stretch. Who's that? Aiden. Everybody looks pretty good there. But Aiden, you're bringing your hands forward, buddy. So when you're landing, your hands are like this. See how your knob's pointed in front of me? I want my knob to be pointed behind me. So go ahead and hold your bat up again for me. Hold your bat up for me. Hold it. Yeah, there you go. Now, take that knob and point it towards your basketball goal. Well, not that far, but yeah, that's the general idea. Now, when you turn it backwards, see how that bat comes up by my head? So bring your barrel up. Barrel up. There you go. Now take your lead arm and just kind of stretch it back a little bit. Push your lead arm back to just barely back to your basketball goal. That's better. So I want to land in that position, okay? So when I say stride and stretch, I want my hands to be back in that spot back there. All right? Same thing for you, Ethan. Right? I don't want to be close to my ear. I want to be away from my shoulder.
Really? Mommy, Dad.
Now, so take your, go ahead and do that again, Ethan. Good. Now stop. Don't move. Now bring your hips back square. There you go. Now push your butt back a little bit. There you go. Now take your knob and point it down towards the ground. A little bit more. There you go. Now take your hands and push them backwards. No, not back behind, not this way, like not back towards my body, but back straight down into the ground. See how I still have space? I don't want my hands to come to my body. I want them to stay out here, okay? So I'm not pushing them back this way. They're gonna stay, if they start here, they're gonna stay here. So they're not going out, but they're not going back behind me. They're staying kind of in this line that's kind of in front of me. There you go. That's better. Good. All right, here we go. Let's do it again. Couple more. Couple more. All right, here we go. Ready? Load. Stride and stretch. Better. Better. I know your name's probably not Jen. That's probably your mother, but hey, that's really good. Emelinian. That's good, dude. All right, let's do it again. Load. Stride, stretch. Good. Now, I want you, that's the biggest drill. If you guys can master that, if you guys can master those two things, you got a really good chance. If you can master that position, you got a really good chance to be a great hitter. Okay? Because you're gonna have all the components built up in there to start the right mechanics in order to hit. Okay? So for you guys to be on the tee, you know, just hitting in your room, swinging dry swings in front of a mirror, just swinging out in front of your, you know, in your garage or in your yard, whatever you guys have, practice that drill, okay? And then if you're gonna swing, we're not gonna talk about this today, but I just want you guys to know kind of what to do from that launch position, okay? So once I get loaded, I stride and stretch. When I go to swing, I want you to imagine like my head is staying super still. It's not going to slide forward. It's not going to slide backwards. Okay, I'm just going to rotate like I have a pole drilled through my head, goes all the way through my body into the ground. Okay, almost like you're a horse on a carousel or something. Okay, when you hit, and then you're just going to rotate. Boom. Okay, and you're just going to stay right in that line. So you're going to turn and swing. All right, so if you practice that, practice those components. All right, the load, the stride and stretch, and then rotate in that order. And don't let my body move as I rotate. Just turn. Okay? So that's what we'll leave you with. You guys keep practicing those things. All right? Does anyone have any questions on that? That was a lot of info, I understand. Hopefully we were able to hopefully we were able to describe it a little bit where you guys could understand it and then have some drills to be able to use it. Any thoughts, any questions? Nothing? All right. Sweet. See, I got someone in the chat here. Oh, gotcha. Aiden's a Baez fan. He's a good dude. Very talented. Okay, cool. Well, that's what we got for kind of the skill side today. So, you know, I kind of want us to kind of bring it back and start talking a little bit about kind of the word of the day. I know that Josh has kind of been talking a lot about words of the day and in the different classes and stuff. And, you know, today we're going to talk a little bit about mentality, right? So, especially during this time, guys, like mentality's got to be one of the biggest focal points that we can have, right? Because everyone's going to come back at some point, right? Everyone's going to get back to work at some point. Everyone's going to get back to normal. You guys are going to get back on the field. You guys are going to be playing again, or maybe even you're going to get back in the gym playing basketball again or playing soccer or whatever, all these, you know, all the different sports that you guys play. At some point, you're going to be back, okay? Your mentality during this time, right, during this time specifically, has a chance to really set you apart and get you out in the forefront of your peers and get you out in the forefront of being ahead of the curve, ahead of the game, all right, in terms of practicing and being ready to go. So it's all about your mentality and how you view this, right? All this information that you just got today, if you had a notebook or something to write down on, should have been taking notes, right? Keeping a journal, keeping a hitting notebook. All the best hitters in the world, they keep a hitting notebook. They write down all kinds of things. When you get to the big leagues, they're writing down all kinds of pitching notes and different things like that. But, you know, things that you learned, things that helped you, things that helped your swing, all those things, right? To be able to take a focused approach to your work, all right, into getting better, because there's no shortcuts in this game. Josh will tell you, there's no shortcuts to being an athlete, man. And the mentality, the grind, there's got to be a lot of internal mentality of, I want to get better, and I want to do everything I can to get better. And the mentality side, just talking about this side specifically, right, in terms of this tough season of life that we're all dealing with, right? And if you guys have the right mentality and how you approach that, and how you approach getting better or practicing or whatever you're doing, you got a chance to really have kind of a leg up to your sport, right? And so then I kind of want to switch gears a little bit in terms of mentality as an athlete, right? In terms of mentality as a competitor. Josh can kind of talk a little bit about that. I mean, he was a basketball guy, but your mentality as an athlete doesn't change, right? Josh, why did you play basketball? What was your, when you were a kid, or when you started playing, and especially as you were, coming up through the high school, college, and the pro ranks, like what was the reason that you played basketball?
I love to compete, in every sport that I did. I just love to compete. I love to win. And I think, as I grew older, I realized the impact that, having a good mentality, having a good approach to the game, how that impacts performance and what that looks like. And so, a lot of you guys on the call now, we're all learning details, all right? Coach Brandon was teaching you guys fine details that if you guys pay attention to those little things, it could have big impacts in your game, all right? And, that's the mentality, is thinking about how can I use this time now in quarantine when we're at home? How can I use this time to get better, to improve my game? Maybe it's like Coach was saying, maybe it's writing down notes and, being a student of the game. Maybe you're watching film, maybe you're looking at some of the best players and just, chopping up, breaking down, batting technique, or, pitching or catching, whatever that looks like. You guys have that mentality of, how am I going to get better? What's one way that I can get better during this time? What do you guys think? You guys tell me, who do you think, has a good mentality? It could be baseball player, basketball, any sport. Like, who comes to mind when you think about having a good mentality?
Anybody watch The Last Dance?
Yeah.
Who do you think has a good mentality from The Last Dance?
Michael Jordan.
You better believe it, son. You better believe it, right? Who else? Somebody else?
Like someone from baseball?
Anybody. Doesn't matter. Can be any athlete.
My father.
Your father. Your father's an athlete?
Yeah, he actually he actually was invited to play triple A division.
Oh, okay, nice. That's cool. Who else? Anybody else got somebody? Let me ask you, let's see, Hamalanian. Is that how you say that name? I probably butchered that.
Hamayelian.
Hamayelian, man, my bad. That's me. You know what? Hey, I'll take that. My fault. Hey, who's your favorite player in any sport?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Rare. All right. Do you like to watch a player in specific, or do you just like to watch certain players? Doesn't have to be one, just maybe a few players that you like to watch?
I don't care. I just like to watch anyone.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's see. Jackson Nuisi. Is that how you say that? Nuisi? Noose?
Noose.
Noose. Okay. Who's your favorite player?
Cody Bellinger.
Cody Bellinger. Okay. What kind of mentality do you think Cody Bellinger has?
Hard worker.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's good.
Do you guys know what mentality means? What do you guys think mentality means? Any guesses? You guys might have heard the Mamba mentality, right? Kobe Bryant. He had the Mamba mentality. You guys, hands up if you heard that. What do you guys think that means? Come on, man. It's Kobe Bryant. You guys don't know the Mamba mentality? You guys are killing me. You guys, mentality is the attitude of the mind, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, the attitude of the mind has such an important part in not just in the game of baseball, but in life, right? If you guys, if you're a hitter, right, and last game you were 0 for 4, right? You couldn't hit anything. The next game comes around, you're stepping up to the plate. What should be your mentality?
I'm gonna hit the ball. I'm gonna go 4 for 4.
You're gonna go 4 for 4, right? That's that mentality. You got to look forward. You can't look backwards. You can't be thinking, man, yesterday I couldn't hit anything. You got to have that mentality, that attitude of the mind where, you know what, I'm going to do the best that I can, and you can't think about what's behind you, right? Just like this quarantine, right? It's tough. A lot of you guys are at home. You're not around your friends, not around your teammates, but you got to have that mentality where, you know what, I'm going to be locked in. I'm going to get better. I'm going to work on my fitness, my strength, whatever that looks like. I'm going to have that mentality where I'm going to get better and I'm going to move forward. And I think that's a great picture of having a positive mentality, is like keeping your eyes forward, right? What do you guys think makes like gives you a bad mentality? What do you guys think?
Not believing in yourself.
Okay.
that's awesome. And I think if all of us are honest with ourselves, we've all been there at some point, Josh and I included. There's been a point in our lives or a point in our career where we had some self doubt, and I think everyone in this call can relate to having a little bit of self doubt. That's good.
Yeah. What else?
Like giving up.
Yeah.
Yep. Giving up will give you a bad mentality. What else?
Not sticking up for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And these things, you guys, like the things we're learning today, okay? Mentality. This applies to the game of baseball, but not just baseball. Like this, you can take this and apply this to your life. All right. That's what's so cool about sport, is the stuff we learn in sport, we can take and apply it to our life, because it's important that outside of baseball, we have a positive mentality that in the morning, I'm waking up and I'm looking forward. I'm looking at how I can have a successful day, right? But beyond that, all right, how can I have a mentality that honors God? All right, that's so important, is that we need to have a mind space that, it's pleasing to God. I don't want to have my head down when I'm, striking out, swinging, or having a bad day. I don't want to have my head down. All right, I got to keep my head up and have a positive mentality. What are some ways that uh, that my mentality can honor God? What do you think? Anybody? You guys, I'm going to share a verse with you, all right? It's in the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 8. It says, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. All right, so that verse says that we're supposed to fix our mind on things that are pure, things that are good, honorable, lovely, all right? Good things, okay? That honors God, all right? That's really cool to think about, that in baseball, when you have a positive mentality, God is happy about that. You think God is happy when you're hanging your head after you lose or have a bad game? No, like God doesn't want to see that. When you keep your head up, because sometimes in sport, sometimes we feel like we deserve that, we just need to hang our head because we just had a bad game. The reality is, if I have a positive mentality, I gotta keep my head up. I gotta be moving forward, and regardless of what other people think or what I think I deserve, I need to be looking forward. I need to be thinking about good things. All right. And I think, Cesario, you were sharing, having a positive mentality, thinking about good things. All right. When you step up to the plate, you got to think about, man, I'm going to get the perfect pitch and just really crush this thing. All right. This is having that mentality that, really impacts your life, not just your game. Right.
Yeah, I think for me, I kind of share a little bit of an example just in my own life and how maybe that helps bring a little bit of it. And for me, whenever one of the biggest things I didn't understand as an athlete before I believed in God and before I gave my life to Jesus, that I thought that I thought I couldn't be an athlete and love Jesus and compete to like win and be a fierce competitor. I thought those two things couldn't exist together. But that's not true. Jesus and God talks in the Bible all the time that God wants excellence from us, right? He demands excellence, and um, I think that I honored God through my mentality, through the way that I competed, and just the effort level that I put in my competition, the work that I put in to try to be great. The reason I played baseball for a living is I desired to be great. I wanted to be the best. I think all of you guys play sports because you love them, and two, you want to be really good at it, right? And I think that there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. But your mentality and how you approached going about doing those things, right? That's where that honoring God comes from, in my opinion, right? Is I honor God in how I worked towards my goal. I honored God in the work that I put in every day. I honored God in how I competed on the field, whether I quote unquote succeeded or whether I quote unquote failed, right? And which, by the way, the Bible's definition of success and failure is drastically different than what the world will tell you success and failure is. But how I went about competing and the focus and the energy and the effort that I put in, if I struck out, my mindset going back, I wanted to pick up my teammates. I wanted to encourage my teammates. That was one of the ways that helped me whenever I felt like I was doing poorly as an individual. I would try to look for something I could do to encourage my teammates. If my teammates did something good, I'd really try to go encourage them, lift them up. Maybe they just had maybe they just made an error, or maybe they just struck out. I try to go, give them a pat and say, hey man, you got it next time. Like, you're good. Encourage those guys. Just little things like that was my mentality and how I approached the game, and how I felt like that helped me honor God in sport and in competition with my mentality. That was something that I did.
Mm. That's awesome, you guys. All right. Well, just as we wrap it up, you guys, there's so much to take away from here. Coach gave you guys a lot of things that you can be working on. but really take this time just to be a student of the game, all right? In your own time, practice the stuff that we've learned today, the details. I heard this quote recently from a guy named John Maxwell, and he's written a lot of leadership books. And he said recently, did I build in this crisis or did I get buried? And that's such a great question because, you know, you guys were at home, we're all trying to get better at baseball. But did I get better during this time or did I just take steps back? All right, that's something you guys got to think about. How can you be taking steps forward during this time? All right. So, hey, appreciate you guys for jumping on, and let's all thank Coach Brandon for taking his time out to coach us today. And you guys, the rest of this week, just think about having that good mentality. All right, think about having a positive mentality that honors God and makes you a better person, makes you a better athlete. All right.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys coming on. Appreciate you guys letting me come hang out with you guys for a little bit. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys paying attention and trying a couple new things that maybe you've heard, maybe you haven't heard before, maybe you have heard before. But I appreciate that, and hopefully, whenever I can see you again, we'll see some progress on those things. So, appreciate you guys, and looking forward to seeing you again.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right, fellas.
Thank
Guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
I don't know.